mOOnGLaDe's army is getting trapped by the positioning of Az's Stalker Zealot here, and they're chasing these roaches, but they have the speed upgrade online, so he's able to just run away here, not interested in engaging this force whatsoever. But more Zealots, and they're going to have the charge upgrade, so we may see this, and we are seeing this Roach army flanked. Huge pursuit, able to snipe a Templar though for mOOnGLaDe, and Az is just continuing to chase him across the map. mOOnGLaDe stopping every now and then to get a few free shots off, and one Roach dropping underground here, so really nice micro by mOOnGLaDe here. When the Roaches are getting down, he is sending them underneath the ground, so he is being very preserving. Will this last Roach go down here? Looks like mOOnGLaDe trying to get a few more shots, but no, a reinforcement group of Roaches here coming online. A huge wall of Roaches for Az to deal with. A couple of Roaches unfortunately coming out of burrow too early and being picked off, but a few free shots coming off from these Zealots. These Zealots committing to this fight now. Huge wall of Roaches. And these Roaches going underground now, popping back up as they chase Az's army across the map here. These couple of Templars have enough energy for Storm, and we are seeing very nice force field placement, but of course the Roaches are just going underground here. I'm not sure if Az is going to be able to hold this, but there are a lot of Roaches, but there's a huge amount of Stalkers, and those Templars could be the trump card once again for Az. mOOnGLaDe not willing to engage this expansion. If Az can get this expansion online though, I think it's going to be really strong for him, because he's keeping Eevee with mOOnGLaDe in the bases. He's even throwing up a robotics facility at this expansion and taking a 4th base now. So I really like this play from Az. I wasn't so keen on the idea of retreating from that initial aggression to sort of keep basing the expansions, but now that he's 4th basing, and he's actually taking the lead in bases with mOOnGLaDe only taking his 4th now. So yeah, I like this position from Az. He looks like he's in a really commanding position, and he's getting those Templars online, which he's used so effectively against mOOnGLaDe in the past.
There are now Hydras coming out for mOOnGLaDe now to join the Roach army. So once again, a Roach Hydra army. Now, there are, very similar to the other time they met, there are High Templars on the field. There are so many Stalkers though for Az, so it's a mostly Stalker army with only a handful of Zealots and a Sentry with an Observer overhead. So, as it is though, I do like mOOnGLaDe's position, and he does have the burrow out, so he is making very good use of that whenever it does come into play. But as it is right now, they're both, kind of happy to sit back and continue to really, just upgrade their units, mass up. They don't want to be taken out too early now while there's so many, or like get caught out of position. Now, Az is moving around this gold expansion, so I would, I'm actually wondering if he would actually take that expansion, while he is on the front foot. But it could be very risky if he does take it and it does get taken out. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we are seeing him move across the map, and now very nicely Az has got an Observer following his army, so we won't be able to see mOOnGLaDe abuse underground Roaches quite as much, which he has been just completely positioning himself so well with, and really taking advantage of Az's lack of Observer. But now he's got the Observer, so the Roaches aren't going to be able to do it, and mOOnGLaDe's Speed Overlords are picking up this ball of Stalkers, so he does know the positioning of Az's army, but there's a bunch of Templars mixed in with this army, and Az is actually sitting on a fair bit of cash, so he can actually pump those Templars out. But we are seeing 1-1 upgrades finished for mOOnGLaDe, 2-2 upgrades for his Roaches and Hydras coming in, and Protoss attack level 3 coming online. No armor, no shield, so very aggressive from Az. He's just going pure attack upgrades. I do like it simply because he can use his Psy Storms as a shield. But now we are seeing the big engagement, this big ball of Roaches coming in to take the initial damage, going underground, but of course the Observer can see him. Psy Storms going off all over the place. Psy Storms just in the middle of mOOnGLaDe's army. mOOnGLaDe's getting decimated by these Psy Storms. These Hydras taking so much damage. These Stalkers trying to go to work, but the Roaches just still able to absorb a lot of that storm damage. They're still alive. I'm surprised that Az wasn't able to do more damage there. The lack of armor upgrades really playing a factor from these 1-1 Roaches and Hydras that chase Az's army away. Now I'd imagine mOOnGLaDe borrowing his Roaches to get that regeneration bonus would think about making a move on this 4th expansion that Az has got in line with 2 robotics facilities. I don't like this positioning of these robotics facilities. He does have the Robo Bay down there, so he can think about getting Colossi out, which is so strong against those bunches of units. But if this expansion goes down, he's going to lose those robotic facilities and his robotics bay. I don't like it. It's very, very risky.
Yeah, meanwhile, back at the main for mOOnGLaDe, Az actually had a Warp Prism down, and he did drop a bunch of those Zealots, just as that other fight before was lost by Az, so he did try to catch him out of position, but the Roaches and Hydras did react very, very quickly. He didn't lose too much really. The evolution chamber is the only thing really that took a lot of damage in a handful of drones, but not that much. As it is, mOOnGLaDe's in a very, very strong position, just with so many of these roaches just leading the way, and other hydras just in case there are any air units. Now they're going into the base of the expansion now of Az, so we'll have to wait and see how this turns out.
Yeah, a bunch of stalkers here coming to defend, catching Az's forces split here. His flanking forces coming in with those beautiful Psystorms once again. So much Psystorm going off, losing his Overseer and a bunch of Hydras, but his Roach Wall still in reasonably good shape. Once again, a Psystorm really dropping the hit points of these Roaches, but again, they're able to burrow and regenerate. This really nice burrow play here by mOOnGLaDe, but Az bringing in some Stalkers who are providing more coverage here. A few Zealots coming off, but they're being melted. This is going to be down to the wire. I think Az is going to be able to warp in more units, but the Colossi coming online now, and the Colossi going to work on these Roaches. It doesn't have Thermal Lance upgrade, it's still being produced, but he's able to mop up these remaining forces, so really a bit of a trade there. I mean, no one really came out ahead, although the advantage was to Az because his expansion with this crucial robotics base is still in place. But mOOnGLaDe taking a 4th and a 5th base at the same time here. He almost lost his... well, he did lose the hatchery, I believe, at the top expansion, only just now getting back online. But yeah, really, at this point, Az's income is still miles ahead, almost double now with 84 harvesters compared to 49. So Az's economic advantage is absolutely massive. He's really done a lot of economic damage here to mOOnGLaDe, and he's not interested in just winning the game now. He's in a strong macro position. He's just exploiting that, getting more Colossi online to really beef up his unit composition, and mOOnGLaDe's going to have to think about getting a Spire online, because he's really going to need Corruptors to counter these Colossi.
Yeah, Az again with this Warp Prism warping in more units down the bottom. He tried the exact same tactic, didn't work again the same way because he was prepared for it. So he's trying to do some sneaky stuff again on this top expansion, doing exactly the same thing. So Az really making use of this Warp Prism while he's got it up and running without any Mutalisks or these Hydras to take it out. Now he quickly forces the cancellation of that expansion. So I like this play by Az, but I mean, really, it's only a small thing. It's not doing too much damage, and this Hydra Roach Ball will take care of any stragglers left behind. These two poor Zealots will be wiped out here. But I do like the play by Az. It's just not doing enough damage, and he's just not timing it right. And you know, it's just have to he have to reload and try something else because it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, Az just squandered a really big opportunity there with that Roach Hydra Ball coming in to defend that expansion drop from the War Prism. He had his main forces at knocking on the front door of mOOnGLaDe's base, and he could have committed and done so much damage to mOOnGLaDe's front with his Roach Hydras completely out of position and off creep there. But now we do see, as now he's committing to this, the Roach Hydras once again caught off position on the other side of the map, and mOOnGLaDe surprisingly GG's there, just realizing the economic difference between the two. So it's really surprising ending there. mOOnGLaDe was just exhausted there and realized his economic disadvantage, and this composition was just too strong for him. He really needed to be able to have his economy much higher and be able to switch into Corruptors to cancel these Stalkers out. But really strong macro play there from Az was just too strong for mOOnGLaDe in the end, and he just GG's out, having seen that huge army coming to his front and his Hydra Roach Ball caught out of position, and which would have just been incinerated by these six Colossi.
Yeah, I like the choice of Colossi. Just so powerful when you have so many of them. And you know, he was, you know, I guess that war play did work out quite well in the end because it was moving him completely around the field, and mOOnGLaDe did overcommit to that expansion. So as you know, wisely did move in while the forces were away from home, and yeah, that's a game over for that one.
Once again, Az stuns mOOnGLaDe. Az is one up in this best of three, so one more, and Az is back in the final. That's a wrap.